Hygiene is cultural.
I don't wash my legs in the shower. I don't know why my legs would be dirty.
And this series came about because over the past couple of years, I've discovered so many hygienic practices or lack thereof that seem pretty normal for white people.
Do you use a washcloth?
No, me either.
I think
disgusting.
Am I scrubbing my body with a washcloth?
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
I know.
And how that is just conversely different to how I grew up as a black person and how many black, brown, Latino people grew up.
You do not have body wash in your house.
No, haven't for years.
If I went over to your house,
You would see shampoo, conditioner, no body wash.
Wait, so you use shampoo? And
Yes, every like month or so. Every morning I get in the shower, I get under the water, wet the hair, wash the face.
With what?
With water.
Athlete's foot and lice are two things that black people think we can't get, even though we can get it. The frequency of how we bathe and the fact that we wash our feet. I'm just thinking that athlete's foot is probably an issue because y'all are not washing your feet as much as you should.
Do you wash your feet in the shower? No. Or your legs? Legs, barely. Occasionally, though. Below the knee. Below the knee? Not usually. I can't remember.
I can't remember the last time I've washed my legs in the shower.
This discovery, I'm trying to learn the aversion to cleanliness.
How often do you change your socks?
Like maybe twice a week.
Not enough.
Oh,
Not enough.
why?
Sometimes I just forget. When I go to bed with socks on, I can't sleep without socks.
And how that kind of trickles over to the kitchen, like how you guys are telling us we're wrong for cleaning our chicken and cleaning our meat, but then you don't wash your legs and you don't wash your feet. So like, why would we listen to you about that when you don't wash your whole body when you're in the shower?
I don't wash my hands.
Oh, I was gonna say that too.
I don't care. I'm done. I'm done hiding it.
And why do girls have to wash it? We don't touch nothing.
We don't even touch nothing.
Why do I have
Just
to
in
wash
case.
my hands? For what? I'm not sticking my hand up my vagina. If I'm in a public restroom and there's people in the stalls, I will even, after I pee, go to the sink, wash the water, like pretend. Run the water, pretend I'm washing my hands.
Or since this series started, I'll like be soaping up my body and I get to my legs, I always say to myself, could you just stop here and let the soap trickle down?
Do you guys wash your legs in the shower?
No, because sometimes I do, but I don't do it often. And when I do, I kind of like reserve it as like a treat.
No, I don't, to be fair.
How come?
Because I've got hairy legs, and all I do is let the shower gel go down there, and that's about it.
No, because it's getting out of hand now. Is anybody worried about their health?
And I'm like, absolutely not. So it's very intriguing to me to find these videos of people willingly not bathing their kids, teaching your—
How often are you guys bathing your kids? And the majority of you are doing it every night. I don't think that's necessary. How often do I bathe my kids? Once a week.
not washing your whole body, and then not washing in general.
Do you use a washcloth?
Kind of hurt by this because I try to look, I get up at 4:45 a.m. I try to look my best and look clean. Do I not look clean?
That's really not what the question is
that
about.
not why?
Do you use a not do you shower? Do you use the actual washcloth?
I have a washcloth in my bathroom that I use for my hands when I wash my hands after using the restroom. Does that
in
count?
the shower?
No, in the shower.
Do you
No. What the heck? Specifically use it to wash your legs specifically?
No,
like
everything.
Your body, the whole body.
You can't use your hands?
Well, you could.
We'll get there one day. Hopefully we can find the answer. But for today, I'm just as confused.
One thing that I really know is that many black parents train their kids how to clean themselves since their childhood. It is uncommon to see black Americans claiming on social medias how they don't clean some of the parts of their bodies. Their parents train them how to brush their teeth, how to wash their hair, how to clean all parts of their bodies. And it is so shocking to watch some of these clips of these white people confidently saying that they don't wash some of their body parts, showing their hair full of lice, talking about how they don't clean their legs. That is so shocking, especially to all black Americans who are not used to these bizarre practices. I want you to watch these clips, listen to what these people are saying, and tell me whether what they are saying is something normal in your communities. Just drop your opinions down there in the comment section. The video is for awareness and educational purpose. If you like it, click on the like button and subscribe for more interesting episodes.
So I get this question a lot. Yes, I have lice in my hair and I want to keep them.
Hey! Let us pray. Dear Caucasian Jesus.
Motherfuckers always want to talk about the white privilege, but nobody wants to talk about the white disadvantage. I had a family build And on top of my head, I can't even make a fucking family. And lice made a family on my head.
Before and after Mega Infestation Edition. Bye bye Lice. They were drinking blood out of her forehead. Look at this lice party. No social distancing in here. I swear she's got an entire colony in here. Wow, that looks so much better already. Crunchy, clumpy, sticky, yucky, lumpy egg collection. So sticky and hard. They felt like they were gorilla glued down. Okay, more egg patches to go. My arm is so tired from combing. Damn, Miss Girl, you looking fire, I can finally see her hair. Okay, more combing to go. Lice sleeping in her hoodie. Wow, so much better. It looks and feels like hair again.
Is a public service announcement. There was a body lice outbreak at the University of Maryland, and it's primarily from poor hygiene, okay? And I used to wonder why Lumi, you know, the body deodorant for your pits, privates, and more, I'm like, that deodorant lasts 72 hours, but who needs a 72-hour deodorant? And I talked to my line sister, she's like, Frida, a lot of people don't bathe. Oh my goodness. All right, so let's talk about body lice and how Lumi is not the answer. So recently at the University of Maryland, there was a body lice outbreak. There are 3 different types of lice, right? There's head lice, okay, body lice, and then pubic lice, also known as crabs, okay? They are different. So I'm talking about the body lice. Body lice are these little insects, okay? They're about the size of a sesame seed, and they live in your clothing and in the seams of clothing, and they crawl on your body several times a day in order to feed off of your blood. That's how they live. If a body louse does not have a blood meal for 1 to 2 days, the adult will pass away. And the way that you prevent body lice is by bathing, okay? Taking a shower, bathing, and making sure that you wash your linen, your clothing at least once a week. And you want to wash it in hot water, 130 degrees Fahrenheit, and you want to dry it on the hottest cycle. If you are in a position where you can't get to a washing machine right away, then take the items like your clothing, your linens, and put them in a tightly sealed plastic bag for at least 2 weeks if you can't get them to a place where you can wash. At the University of Maryland, in at least 2 buildings, they found body lice, okay? And yes, body lice can occur, especially in people who are refugees, people who are unhoused or homeless, people who are escaping natural disasters, when they don't have access to taking a bath. But at the University of Maryland, I'm quite sure that all those kids in the dorm have showers. I know they do. And so in order for there to be a body lice outbreak, the chances are high that the children are not taking showers or baths, certainly not daily, and possibly not even weekly. And there are some complications other than the lice just causing a histamine release and the bites and the itching. They can carry certain diseases, okay, like typhus, or trench fever or relapsing fever. So you actually can get an infection from a bite of the body lice. And just scratching, okay, if you scratch and you break your skin, that can also cause you to get a secondary skin infection. So that's it on the body lice. So Lumi, thank you very much. Lumi does not kill the body lice.
¿Te has preguntado cómo puedes sacar la ninfa? Pues hay que hacer un pequeño raspado en el cuero cabelludo con nuestra liendrera para que podamos sacar desde la raíz a esos piojitos bebecitos. Si lo quieres hacer solo por encimita, créeme que no vas a sacar nada. Para que no duela, recomendamos que el cabello esté húmedo con mucho repelente desenredante. Sigue nuestros consejos y estarás libre de piojos y liendres. Con Pepe Picas, ya no pica.
I was recently asked this question as to whether white people have more parasites and if that drives things like racism and violence and intolerance towards non-white people. And the answer to both of those questions is yes. One of the driving factors for this is the lack of melanin. Melanin is one of the most important aspects of the immune system. It's anti-parasitic, it's antioxidant, and it's also metal chelating, as well as it's a semiconductor for energy. It's the most fundamentally important molecule in all of biology. Without this natural barrier against parasites and the reduction of sun exposure, which further increases and cleanses the body of parasites, white people have developed extremely high parasite loads. And this goes all the way back to Roman Empire. You can take a look at their hygiene practices, medieval Europe, the Renaissance, and finally through colonization. So these two factors, a higher susceptibility to parasites, as well as hundreds of years, generation after generation of cultivating high parasite loads, has caused white people to be naturally more parasitized. High parasite stress is found to do two things in the domain of psychosocial studies. It leads to hyperindividuality and hyperaggression. This is true for any social species of animal throughout the entire world. We'll use ants as an example. If an ant colony is infected with a tapeworm, the infected ants will subtly, because of the tapeworm, release a pheromone that conditions the entire colony to have that hyperindividuality and hyperaggression. It makes the ants lazy and sluggish. It also makes them extremely defensive. They'll start to attack their neighbors preemptively, fearing that there will be some kind of attack against them, so they lash out. There's a notable reduction in teamwork. They no longer serve the queen, but serve the interests of the infected few ants. And all of this is so that the infected ants have a stronger chance of survival, so that the tapeworm can complete its life cycle, which in this example, it wants to be eaten by a bird. So if we were to take a look at humans in the course of history, we take a look at white people from that perspective of biology, we're going to see them as an invasive species. We're going to see white people as aggressively colonizing, as well as hyper-individualistic. They lack teamwork, except the only time you'll really see strong teamwork is when they come to the defense of a guilty member who is being accused or found guilty of some kind of crime. White people will come into the defense of community only when there's a threat to their whiteness, to that supremacy or superiority. When white people commit a crime, they are protected, their identity is protected, and usually the narrative is spun so that they come out as a hero. But all you have to do is trace the tracks of history. During colonialization, the reason why sickness was so widespread in native nations was because the hygiene practices, the culture conditions, the microbial culture, and vice versa. Well, that had gone into such a high parasite load that the colonizers devastated the ecosystem of native microbiomes. Basically, their immune systems weren't prepared for the sheer amount of evolved parasites that white people had conditioned and lived with and become accustomed to. White people had been living in filth for hundreds of years and so became carriers of disease. But it does more than that. When we take a look at ants, and we can see that parasites influence pheromones, for humans, we don't use pheromones to communicate, but we use ideologies. And so the parasites, they influence the ideologies. The ideologies of white people is to see everyone as an enemy, to conquer, to propagate the parasites, and to suppress, oppress, and enslave others around them. And now the ideologies of the parasitized science of Western imperialism denies the usefulness of deworming. They say that the sun is bad. And this is only going to get worse as the sun's intensity hits Earth harder. White people are going to retreat from the sun more and more and continually to cultivate worse and worse microbiomes that are toxic to ecosystems and other humans. And you need to look no further than the atrocities committed by white people against indigenous populations, against slaves, and still to this day in foreign countries, and against immigrants, and really anyone who isn't white. In no way am I saying that white people are blameless. What I'm saying is that this is the way it is. This is part of the driving factor. This is part of the motivating force. White people inherently are more susceptible to parasites, and if we look at history, they have been cultivating more and more extreme toxicity and high parasite stress in their microbiomes. This destroys community, drives hyperindividualization, drives hyperaggression against non-parasitized members. In other words, it becomes white versus non-white people because it's the parasitized versus the non-parasitized. The burden of responsibility is on white people to change and to fight against the oppression that their system has given them the ample opportunities and access and privilege of. This is merely biologically, psychosocially, historically, ideologically, how things went, how they're going. White people created an entire system of racism because of the melanin content of someone's skin. White people are fundamentally more parasitized. That's just a fact of their biology. And until they take steps to overcome that, they're going to keep doing what white people have always been doing. You can take a look at the leaders of the regimes of white countries. They're transhumanists, pedophiles, warmongers, colonizers. Cultural practices condition the microbial culture, and white people's culture is parasitically driven.
How bad were lice in the Middle Ages? Back then, it was super common. They all had lice, rich and poor. People would literally host parties and gossip while trying to get the lice out of each other's hair. Because there were no subroofs, birds, insects, and mice would be all over your space, and they carried a lot of lice and fleas. Your bed could have them, your clothes, your hair. Once you had them, good luck. They would bite your scalp all day. People itched so much and would scratch all the time that their skin turned raw. This made things way worse. They got sores and infections. No one told them that scratching wasn't a good thing. So imagine living in a dark, cramped house, not bathing often, your head constantly itching, fleas all over your clothes, and someone picking lice eggs out of your hair like it was normal. For a lot of them, it was. So how bad were lice in the Middle Ages? I mean, you dealt with them every day, so pretty bad. Shout out to the Middle Ages. They were doing their best.
I am an African, and I grew up seeing white people portrayed as people who are very clean. In my community, they were being portrayed as people who are somehow closer to God. Seeing some of the elders in my community praising the portrait of white Jesus, literally praising him as their God, made me think that white people are closer to God. And I remember in 2008, that was my first time to meet a white person. I met this tall white guy, and he was very dirty. Dirty open shoes, dirty clothes, athlete feet, messy hair, and I was shocked because I couldn't imagine him to be the same person that I grew up imagining to be closer to God. The way he wasn't clean made me to reimagine who a white person was in my mind. And then later in 2018, there was a conversation that was started on Twitter. The conversation was titled, "It is common to be dirty among white people." And I thought it is just stereotypes. People stereotyping others on social medias is common. But as I kept scrolling, reading the tweets from different people sharing their experiences with white people, I even came across the tweets of white people themselves, where they were claiming that they have never cleaned their legs, they have never taken time to properly wash their hair, they have never used a bathrobe in their entire life. And I was shocked. And I thought probably there are a few people. And I went on Reddit and searched for the same topic, hygiene among white people, and I was shocked. It is known that hygiene is not something common among some of these white people. And themselves, they know it and they claim it and they are proud of it. You have seen those clips. They are claiming it. I cannot repeat some of what they said, but they were saying it. They have never cleaned some of the parts of their bodies. And they can confidently come out here and say it on the internet. And as somebody who really knows the impacts, the side effects of being unhygiene, it really made me sad. Because some of the common negative impacts of not being hygiene is getting arthritis foot, lice infestation, fleas infestation, bedbug infestation, and that is something that no human being would like to have. And them are all there just being proud of not being clean. Y'all black Americans, star me. You went to the universities. You have lived with white people. You have worked with them in your workplaces. You have some of your neighbors who happens to be white. Is it really true that some of these people are not hygiene as it is being claimed in these clips? Because I really want to hear from y'all black Americans, people who live in the USA. Because me listening to these clips of people saying this, I really can't imagine that what they are saying is true. Because every normal human being would find it common to be hygiene, to clean their bodies every single day. Can you imagine people who only clean their bodies once a week or twice a week? Human beings are supposed to be clean every day. Not once a week, not twice a week, but every single day. And then one lady in those clips said that she only changed her socks twice a week. How smelly are those socks? Aren't people around her being affected by those smelly socks? So that is so sad. That is so sad to hear this from a human being, especially a lady. Y'all viewers, I'm not stereotyping these people. I'm just commenting on what they were saying. And that is why I'm begging you to share with us your own experiences with these people. Is it really true that these people are not hygiene? Drop your opinions down there in the comment section, and if you find this video interesting, make sure you click on the like button and subscribe for more interesting episodes. Ciao.